National Public Radio and the Public Broadcasting System, better known as government-run media. And, of course, the government will protect... Why do you think the government protects NPR and PBS? Why do you think? Because NPR and PBS promote the government's position, the liberal administration's position. That's why. Do you think if NPR and PBS were even modestly conservative or modestly had two views or more than one view, that they'd be supported by the liberals? Of course not. Ron Schiller, you may or may not have heard of this. He was National Public Radio senior exec at the time of this video, I believe he was. Project Veritas, is that how you pronounce it, Mr. Producer? Veritas, sorry. I misspelled it when I wrote it down. Veritas. James O'Keefe's website. We give a hat tip in each instance to this. Here we have Ron Schiller, NPR senior executive at the time. James O'Keefe in a hidden video. Now, keep in mind, this guy at the time was being paid for by you. The whole entity's being paid for by you. And look how this guy hates you. Cut one, go.
I think what we all believe is that if we don't have Muslim voices in our schools, on the air, it's the same thing that we faced, as a nation when we didn't have female voices. The current Republican Party, particularly the Tea Party, is fanatically involved in people's personal lives and very fundamental Christian, and I wouldn't even call it Christian. It's this weird evangelical kind of move. The current Republican Party is not maybe the Republican Party, but it's been hijacked by this.
All right, let's stop. It's giving me a headache. Here, the bottom line is I didn't set this up properly. O'Keefe goes in there and claims to represent this Muslim organization that wants to give a lot of money to NPR. And Schiller is their senior VP at the time, senior executive, for fundraising, among other things. And he's trying to pander to the group, or to O'Keefe. He says, I think what we all believe is that if we don't have Muslim voices in our schools on the air, it's the same thing we faced as a nation when we didn't have female voices. The current oh yeah, that's a good comparison. The current Republican Party, particularly the Tea Party, is fanatically involved in people's personal lives. Are you, folks? And very fundamental Christian. And I wouldn't even call it Christian. It's this weird evangelical kind of move. The Republican Party is not the Republican Party. It's been hijacked by this group. Schiller, a man posing as Amir Malik with the Muslim Brotherhood Front Group, the radical Islamophobe Tea Party people. Schiller, not just Islamophobic, but really xenophobic. I mean, basically they believe in the sort of white, middle America gun-toting. I mean, it's scary. They're seriously racist people. So there you have a former senior executive, at the time he was one, with NPR talking about many of you. People talk this way about the Tea Party, about conservative politicians, conservative talk show hosts, like it's no big deal. It is a big deal. It's outrageous. Then we have Schiller in a hidden video by James O'Keefe talking about libs are more educated and fair than conservatives. He says, now I'll talk personally as opposed to wearing my NPR hat. Feels to me as though there is a real anti-intellectual move on the part of a significant part of the Republican Party. He says, in my personal opinion, liberals might be more educated, fair, and balanced than conservatives. Then why are liberals so damn stupid if they're so intelligent? You get my point? Why do they take society and throw it overboard if they're so damn smart? Further into this, he says, now remember, a man posing as Emir. Well, let's try cut 5. Let's see if that can be heard okay, because this is a real keeper. It's another one about the Jews. And I'm sure the Southern Poverty Law Center will put NPR on its list of watch groups to be watched for its bigotry. Cut 5, go.
The extent to which the Jews do kind of control the media. I mean, or at least certainly the Zionists and the people who have the interest in swaying media coverage toward in the favorable direction of Israel. I'm not too upset about maybe a little bit less Jewish influence of Jewish money in NPR, but Zionist coverage is quite substantial elsewhere. So. But
I don't actually find it NPR.
What exactly?
The Zionist or pro-Israel, even among funders.
Nobody really?
No.
Pro-Israel?
I mean, it's there in those who own newspapers, obviously. But no one owns NPR.
You believe this? He says the extent to which Jews do kind of control the media, I mean, certainly the Zionists and the people who have the interest in swaying media coverage toward a favorable direction of Israel. I'm not, boy, and how's that going? I'm not too upset about maybe a little bit less Jew influence of Jewish money in NPR. The Zionist coverage is quite substantial elsewhere, but I don't really find it at NPR. Oh, the Jew influence isn't at NPR, huh? The Zionists, and O'Keefe asked, well, what exactly? In other words, what are you talking about? The Zionists are pro-Israel, even among funders. I mean, it's there in those who own newspapers, obviously, but no one owns NPR, so actually I don't find it. Do I have this right, Mr. Producer? Oh, well, let me get that straight. So the guy posing as the Muslim Brotherhood front group is talking about the Jews. And then Schiller adds in at the end, the Zionists are pro-Israel, even among funders. I mean, it's there in those who own newspapers, obviously, but no one owns NPR, so actually I don't find it. That's what Schiller said. Well, that's not much better, is it, Mr. Producer? That's Hey, ladies and gentlemen, your tax dollars are really going to good work. The Cowboy Poetry Festival, and the more we look into these things, NPR... Don't worry, where the Jew influence doesn't exist, and they're proud of it. Unbelievable. Yes, well, I wonder how much we paid this guy over time. Now, Vivian Schiller, unrelated to this Schiller, she's the National Public Radio president and CEO at the National Press Club yesterday. Hat tip CNS News, just to show you what a cesspool it is in government-run broadcasting. Here she is, cut 6, go.
We get a tremendous amount of criticism for being too conservative as well.
Oh, stop. Oh, no, that's funny. Yes, we know of all the conservative shows. You know who they have as a conservative there every now and then? David Brooks. It's like the New York Times has Ross Douthat and David Brooks. They're their conservatives. Who's that, Mark? Exactly. Go ahead.
We get a tremendous amount of criticism for being too conservative as well. I would wish that those folks could be in our editorial meetings and see what goes on and the care that our reporters and our journalists and our editors take.
Stop. Mr. Producer, I want you to call Vivian Schiller at NPR. She said, I wish that those folks could be in our editorial meetings and see what goes on. I'm offering to go into their editorial meetings. Would you let her know? I'm serious. Call them tomorrow. Say, you said you wish that those folks could be in our editorial meetings and see what goes on and the care that our reporters and journalists and editors take to get it right. I want to see, because they say there's no Jew influence, quote unquote, over there at the National Public Radio or the rest of the government-run broadcasting. I just want to be sure. I don't know about the Zionists. As Schiller said, the Zionists are pro-Israel, even among funders. I mean, it's there in those who own newspapers, obviously, but no one owns NPR, so actually I don't find it there. So it's a clean place.